What's up, guys? Today we have a very exciting episode with a special guest, Big Time Tommy. You probably know him from Carfellas. You definitely know him from Instagram. And we're hanging out at Anthony's Coal Fired Pizza. We're gonna eat some food. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna get to know Big Time Tommy. Check it out.
People calling me up saying they need a feature, saying we can help each other, but I see the leeches. Get the credit where it's due, I ain't talking Visa, but since we talking Visa, don't say you won't pay me either. Did you catch that?
Here he is.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man? Nice to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you. Good afternoon.
You guys obviously know who I am. I'm very happy to be here with my dear friend Jesse, who's a beast in his own right.
Thank you, sir.
And
Generations beyond.
That's right. We're going to give him a second to tell you guys who he is and what he does, and then we're going to pass the mic to Big Time Tommy, who I'm super excited that you did join, brother. I appreciate it very much. Are you kidding me? Thank you so much for joining us. Jesse, who are you?
I am Jesse Robluski. My company is Generations Beyond. We live and breathe digital media, but I'm still kind of fanboying over here. I've been following Jason's stuff for about 3 years now. A realtor client walked into my office and said, "I want to do what this guy's doing," and he showed me his stuff. But I've been following Jason ever since, and damn, every Friday, never fails. The man is consistent.
Yeah, so it's not easy, but kudos to you, man, for what you're doing.
Thank you.
That's what I want to get into, because my Instagram is all about just personal growth and development. You know, everybody kind of looks forward to that motivation that I'm putting out there.
Yes.
And it's changed my life so much. And you and I spoke about that a little bit. Can you tell me like how you came to doing these motivational posts?
I guess I got to tell you, my life that I had years ago was nothing like my life now. I used to get into trouble a lot, and I realized that was all negative time and energy. And I realized that life is just so much better, to be free and to be able to wake up every morning and see your parents, see your friends, see your family, your relatives, your dog, you're outside. And I started really taking that to heart, that life, was a gift. And, a lot of times you take things for granted. I took life in the beginning of my life just being crazy for granted. And I see so much negative stuff going on in the world. And I'm like, but why? And it's crazy. I just so much wish that it would go back to how it was growing up in the 80s when things were just more simpler. The times, my God, kids today, how'd you know where your friends were? Whatever house had a bunch of bicycles.
That's it.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
Whatever house had all the bikes in front of it.
That's right.
For whatever reason, you had to do something when you went home and, Ma, I got to get outside and play. Today, the kids don't go outside and play.
Yep.
And I just, even though I'm the age that I am now, I still think about those days and I try to assert all those ways of life to today.
So that's where the old school way came from.
That's how the old school way,
the whole
yes.
thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really funny because my group of friends, whatever car my friends are driving, there's always a lawn chair in the back of the trunk. Why? Because we don't need somebody's house. We don't need a park. We don't need a beach.
I was at the barber this morning getting this fresh cut, by the way.
And it looks very good.
Thank you,
The
man.
lines are nice
I
and soft.
appreciate
And
that.
you can tell that it's fresh.
Gotta stay fresh, man. It's important.
And again, that to me is old school.
That is old
because
school.
I get my hair cut every Tuesday. I get my nails done every 2 weeks.
Yep.
So I'm always on top because this is what I saw my uncles and the adults doing when I was younger.
Yep.
This is how I say it. Born in the Bronx, raised in Long Island, but Brooklyn influenced.
Okay.
And again, that's another thing. I drive old cars.
Yeah.
And I would rather drive an old car any day of the week than to drive a new car. And it's so funny. Oh, I got a Mercedes. I got a this. I got a that. God bless. Great. Safe car. Nice car. But when I pull up to a light and there's 2 or 3 Mercedes at that light because people have good credit and they went and they have a good job and they have Mercedes, there's 2 or 3 of them in the light. But how many 85 Eldorados are at that red light?
None, man.
How many 79 Coupe de Villes are at that light?
Yep.
How many 76 Sedan de Villes are at that light?
That's a lifestyle, right?
It is a lifestyle.
Yeah,
And I believe in, I never changed. I never changed from the person I was then to the person I am now. Hey, Tommy, gold's not in anymore. I didn't know it went out. I was born, my parents put a chain on my neck, smaller than this. And then as I got bigger and whatever, I graduated to bigger jewelry, but I never changed for the sake of what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, all my friends live the same way that I do.
Yeah.
And getting back to where I was talking before, the kids back then, they all were into the drinking.
Yeah.
And I never went that route.
Yeah.
And it ended up to be that I was into cars. My father was into cars when I was growing up. So I was always around, you know, the vacuuming of the car, the waxing of the car. And I used to leave Long Island to go to Brooklyn to cruise 86th Street. People from Long Island didn't know what 86th Street was because on Long Island we had 231, which was Deer Park Avenue,
of course,
which I also cruised.
Absolutely.
But I had a lot more fun on 86th Street in Brooklyn under the L.
I'm sure.
So that's the reason why Bronx born, Long Island raised, Brooklyn influenced.
I love that.
So I had the best of everything.
I love that. See, what's beautiful about what you do on social media is that I don't care who you are, I don't care where you're from, you look at one of your posts and you feel what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, I really think you resonate with any viewer.
Have you been doing social since Carfellas, or you just started?
Well, that's a good question, because what happened was I never turned a freaking computer on in my life. When everybody else was on MySpace and all that stuff, I never turned on a computer. When I did the reality show in 2012, Carfellas, Discovery Channel, one of the producers called up and says, Mike, Mario, Tommy, we want you to open up a fan page on Facebook. Tommy, you gotta get a Facebook page. I'm like, a what page? I'm like, the social media. You mean MySpace? No, MySpace was 3 years ago. I didn't know it.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. They're like, you have to. I'm like, I don't know how to turn on a computer. I don't want nothing to do with a computer. But they said part of the show is you have to engage and interact with people.
Sure.
So I opened up my first Facebook page, and I guess it was 2012. And from there, it just built just from Carfellas. And Carfellas ended up going international. So I started getting people from Sweden, Mexico, all over the world. Then that died. Not completely, but it was still out there because my character is who I really am. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So it wasn't necessarily a Carfellas video that I was putting up or something from Carfellas. It could have just been something crazy, stupid, or whatever of me. And they thought that was funny enough to, all of a sudden, Facebook went up through everything that I was doing. Tommy, you got to get on Instagram. Please, Facebook is enough for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to get on Instagram. And everybody's telling me, it's almost time for Snapchat. Just get on Instagram. And I'm like, I don't want to. And I remember, again, where I was. My cousins Sal and Tommy tell me, you have to get on Instagram. I go on Instagram. They show me how to do the whole thing. And then all of a sudden, literally within a week or two, they're like, holy shit, he's up to 4,000 just in 2 weeks. And then it started.
What were your first posts? Were they different than what you're doing now?
Yes, they were, but they were always generic things like a picture of my car, a selfie with me with my car in the back, my dog in my car, pizza, food. Another thing that I love, and friends around the table
of course,
with food. And
it's the Italian way, man.
It really is.
Talk to us about somebody you've had a positive impact on, somebody that comes to mind from the social media.
I'm going to tell you right now something that, and they say that things happen for a reason, and I don't believe in mediums. I don't believe in stuff like that. I don't believe in people predicting the future unless you say, wow, it's July. I bet it's going to be cold in November or December. That's predicting a future that we know that we're going to have if we live in New York.
There you go.
But I could never, ever imagine this happening to me. And this literally happened to me 3 weeks ago. I was booked to be in Florida for November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Here I am, we're in an airport. As I'm sitting there and people are going through, the crowd is lessening. And all of a sudden, some kid recognizes me. And he walks over and he goes, oh my God, Big Time Tommy. I says, yeah, nice to meet you. How are you? He says, you have no idea. And I says, what? He says, I'm on my way to Delray Beach right now. And I'm on my way to Florida right now. I says, yeah, me too. Delray Beach. He says, me too. And I says, what are you doing over there? He goes, I'm checking myself into a rehab. And I says, good for you. He goes, the reason why I'm checking myself into rehab is I watch your videos.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps right
Me
now.
too. I just
he goes,
too.
I watch your videos, and it's because of you and your positiveness and the way that you have gotten into my head. He goes, that's the reason why I'm here.
Wow.
He says, I says, bro, you're really freaking me out right now. So the day that you choose to go, and the plane and the time that you're here, I'm on the same plane as you.
That's crazy.
And here this kid's telling me, clean-cut, good-looking kid, well-spoken, and he just fell into, and he felt like, I need to go.
Wow.
And here he is standing in front of me telling me the story.
That's amazing.
And I was just like, listen, I says, you need to be strong enough to know that you're here for a reason and that you're going to accomplish what you went there for. I says, and I just can't even believe that I'm the reason you're going and we're on the same plane together. And he says, well, that means, maybe that means something. I gave the kid a hug, and it was really cool. I'm full of energy at all times.
Yeah.
I mean, from morning till night. And I guess energy radiates.
Yeah.
And I don't like negative energy.
We got to remove that shit, man.
Absolutely.
That's like cancer.
And when there's negative vibes around me, I get away. And if I feel something negative, I'm like, yo, you got to go.
Yeah,
you
I
got to
agree.
go.
I do the same thing, man. We have to shout out Anthony's Cold Fried Pizza since we're hanging out at Anthony's.
Absolutely.
And tell me how you know Anthony Bruno.
Anthony Bruno is a dear friend of mine. Anthony Bruno, the very first restaurant that I went to in Florida that I actually liked, because Italian food in Florida is, very far and few. So Marina Mile Road, State Road 84, Anthony's Runway 84.
Yep.
Well, me and my Italian friends during spring break, we were told by our older uncles and stuff, go over there to eat. It's not Denny's or what you used to save some money, go there and eat. And then all of a sudden eating there. And then as I grew older.
It's an institution, that place.
It's an institution. And I've never been to Italy because I can't do 10 hours in a plane.
Yeah.
But they did say that the closest thing to Italian pizza from Italy, the thin crust, well done,
right,
with the fresh San Marzano tomato, the fresh basil, and the cheese, is Anthony's.
Yeah.
And from the very first day that I tasted their pie over in Fort Lauderdale, I was hooked.
Yeah.
And the food is just so delicious. 65 Anthony coal-fired pizzas later.
It's crazy.
We're in one of them.
We are. And
so Anthony Bruno, Sal, you did a great job. This place is religion.
Right? It's unbelievable.
It really is.
I love that. Anything to say? Last thoughts, comments? Where can we find you, Big Time Tommy?
You can find me on Instagram at Tommy Romola1. On Facebook, you can just find me under Tommy Romola, TOMMIEROMOLA. And on Twitter, and yes, I say Twitter instead of Twitter. So on Twitter, you can find me at Big Time Tommy.
Amazing. Jesse, where are we finding Generations Beyond?
GenerationsBeyond.com. All our socials attached, and I feel I finally made it. I'm on FutureProof, baby.
You made it, man.
It's been 3 years. I've been waiting, and I'm here.
Listen.
And I want to thank Jesse for taking what he has created with Generations Beyond and reaching out to me to be my agent. So if anybody wants to book me, you're booking me through Generations Beyond. And Jesse, and I can't pronounce your Polish last name.
That's
so
fine. It's half Italian, but I'll forgive you.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it, Tommy. Thank you
me.
for being here, brother. And thank you, sir, for making it happen.
Long time coming.
Appreciate it, man. You guys know where to find me. That's a wrap.